It's going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Historic drought in California threatens U.S. food security. Cuts to water supplies may cost the state's farmers $3 billion. As you see right there. Dry ground, no life, nothing. No food, no fruit, no veggies, no grains, nothing. Severe droughts in California, the leading U.S. agricultural state, have resulted in crop revenue losses of at least $3 billion over the past 2 years, according to a study prepared for the California Department of Food and Agriculture. The research revealed that surface water deliveries in the Central Valley as a whole have been reduced by as much as 43% in 2021 and 2022, forcing California farmers to leave over 1.3 million acres of unplanted, forcing California farmers to leave over $1.3 million acres unplanted, the most idled acreage in recent memory. The Central Valley, home to nearly a quarter of all U.S. planted food, including 40% of fruits and nuts, has reportedly borne the brunt so far, with vines and vegetables the main source of revenue loss. Strategic short-term landing idling was the most common cropping decision adaptation in this drought, the report reads. Some crops, such as rice and other field and grain crops, showed extensive idling, while production of beef and milk were lower than they would have been. Some 70% of irrigated land in Colorado River Basin is used to grow feed for livestock, and the drought is inevitably sending prices for such crops soaring, according to the report. And actually, I can attest to that, because I believe I went to the grocery store and I believe a medium size basket. I'm talking about one of them small little bowls that, small little plastic, one of those medium-sized plastic bowls of berries came up to like $7. Yeah, $7 for that many berries. The situation could worsen further as the state's southern farming areas reliant on water from a shrinking Colorado River are likely to see more fallowing in 2023. According to Josie Medellin Azara, a University of California Merged professor who led the analysis, as cited by Bloomberg. A study released earlier this year by the National Climate Change Journal found that the United States Southwest has suffered its driest 22-year period in at least 1,200 years. Lake Mead is fed by the Colorado River, and its supplies are strained by overuse even under normal weather conditions. Last year, the U.S. federal government declared an unprecedented unprecedented water shortage in Lake Mead and the lower Colorado River Basin, warning of supply cuts. A Colorado River Pact signed in 1922 governs water management affecting 7 states. So let's read that one more time. A Colorado River Pact signed in 1922 governs water management affecting 7 states: California, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming. Let's go and get this. Just a moment. Second Esdras, chapter 15, verse 5. It says, "Behold, save the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world." So let's see what some of these plagues are. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. So even as I speak, there is a global food crisis going on. Now, as touching the famine, they spoke about how they may not be able to finance international imported food trades by ships because the prices on how much it costs to import food on ships from one country to another is steadily rising. So we know what happens if a country cannot afford to finance the imports of food from one country to another. That's going to bring them food ships to a standstill. So we are in the midst of a global food crisis. Okay? And even as I speak, food prices are going up. So the Lord said he would bring famines upon the world. So you got California right now that's going through a drought that's leading to a food crisis. Now, we come over here, Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. It says this. Matthew 24 and 7. "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be what? There shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places." So the key point there is famines in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So there's a food shortage in diverse places. Furthermore, if we come over here to Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 16, it says this. It says, "When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine," okay, "which shall be for their destruction." Okay, the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, "and which I will send to destroy you. And I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread." And your staff of bread is talking about the main source of where your food comes from. Which the main source of where most of our food comes from is what? These different food factories that are responsible for packaging your food and putting them on food trucks. But a lot of our food comes from these farmlands. Okay? And as I read in the article, a farmer had to give up 1.3 million acres of land just to leave it unplanted because of the lack of water. So the staff of bread is talking about the main source of where your food comes from now, as touching these different these food factories where they package your food and put them on the back of food trucks. Those are being burned down under the orders of the so-called elites by the Illuminati through these different governments around the world. So we are on the rise of a global food crisis. You know, there's already a shortage of oranges and and fruits down in Florida because of the hurricane. And then that place was hit with another hurricane. So everything I mentioned in this video is leading up to a global food crisis, which is why if you're a brother in this truth, it's time to prepare you need to prepare spiritually. Isaiah 55 verse 6, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. You see? So with that, I'm going to say shalom. So on to the next one.